Hi friends, Amanda with A Does Life here, and I have a little bit different video. First off, let me explain that it is like 2 in the morning. Yes, it's just now 2 in the morning. And so that explains the bad lighting and the no makeup and why I'm a little bit quiet because all of my family is asleep except for me. And I wanted to do this video because I have a condition called trigeminal neuralgia. Now, a lot of you don't know what that is, and I didn't know what that it was for a long time. And so I think the color is adjusting a little bit. The lighting's trying to adjust. Smart camera, but sometimes it takes a minute. Anyway, so I've been thinking about doing a video on TN, they call it for short, because, I want to share my experience with you and how I got diagnosed and the whole process because it's a long one, and hopefully some encouragement. But TN is one of those things that when you're not having a flare, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. You're thankful for your pain-free days. But anyway, I've been suffering with it for the last several days, and I thought that I'm up and I can't sleep, and so I thought I would just share with you my journey. Okay, first off, what is trigeminal neuralgia, or TN for short? It is also called the suicide disease. And the reason is okay, for one, what trigeminal neuralgia is, and I'll try to find some pictures to insert if I can find some good ones. If not, sorry. But anyway, trigeminal neuralgia is a nerve condition that affects your trigeminal nerve. And basically, that is a nerve that runs from your brain to your face. So if you put your hand up like this, and this is a really bad example, but if you put your hand up like this, basically anywhere your fingers are is where your trigeminal nerve touches. So anything from your forehead, eyes, nose, and down your jaw and teeth. Okay, and to your ear. Okay, so some people have a condition that affects the trigeminal nerve. It can be caused by several different things. It can be caused by an elongated blood vessel that wraps around the trigeminal nerve. It can be caused by just a lot of different things touching that trigeminal nerve. Okay, and the reason it's called the suicide disease is because it is known as the most painful condition known to humans. So that's something fun to have, right? And again, with the suicide disease, there is a high number of people with trigeminal neuralgia that commit suicide. Studies are conflicting on the percentages, and the reason is because those researchers at least feel that there are a lot of people that commit suicide before they are diagnosed. And the reason for that is it's very difficult to get diagnosed. It's difficult to see. It doesn't come up on any tests. And honestly, people start to feel like, again, it's the most painful. It's the most painful pain known to human beings. That's what research says anyway, and I would agree with that. And so people are tired of being in pain. People are tired of spending money on medical bills. People are tired of, a lot of times they're just tired of spending all this money and not having any answers. They don't have any answers of why they are in pain. They feel like friends and family don't believe them. They're spending, it's just a big process because you're in this most horrific pain you've ever felt in your entire life. There's no tests. Everything that comes up says you're absolutely fine, and yet nobody can explain why you're in this pain. You start questioning everything. And so anyway, there's a couple books that talk about talk about the condition, and I'll try to link them below. My doctor actually gave me the name of a couple of them, and one is, I want to say TikTok Thursday or TikTok Tuesday. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, in this book, this guy has a plan to commit suicide, and anyway, somebody convinces him to see this specific doctor, and I'll get into more of that. And anyway, that doctor changes his life, just as a similar doctor changed mine. And so I'm going to get into all of that towards the end. But I want to give you a brief explanation of what trigeminal neuralgia is. Anyway, that's information, and I'll try to link some links below. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm not a nurse. I don't have any medical experience. I have my first responder certification, so that basically means I can maybe keep you alive until a paramedic can. That's as much as I know. But anyway, that's basically what it is, and so I'll share my story. Okay, so first off, my symptoms. Like a lot of people say that trigeminal neuralgia causes electric shock type pain. And there's like type 1 and type 2, or A and B, I think they call them. I don't get the electric shock. Like maybe, I guess, but mine is more of a stabbing, chronic, just horrible stabbing pain. Like just debilitating. And mine is usually in my ear. It started in this ear, and I'm lucky enough that I'm starting to experience it in both sides, so that's fun. But anyway, so it felt like an earache. It felt like a horrible earache. And now earaches kind of run in my family, and I had earaches as a child, and now looking back, I wonder if some of them might have been TN, even though I don't, I remember them being bad, but I don't remember them being this bad. But sometimes things grow as you age and things like that, so it could have been. I can't say for sure either way. But when I first significantly noticed it was in 2009, and we had a brand new baby, and we adopted, so there wasn't a pregnancy or anything like that, but we had a brand new baby, and I remember my ear being so bad that I was taking, you just take so much pain medicine, because literally, again, they call it the suicide disease, you'll do anything to stop the pain, anything. And I've never had thoughts of self-harm or anything like that, but I have wanted to stop the pain. And so I would take pain medicine. Disclaimer, I don't take medicine. It takes a lot for me to take medicine. And so for me to pop pills, yeah, things have to be bad, because I don't want to take, I'm a big baby and won't take cold medicine. That's kind of, but, so yeah, so anyway, I just don't take medicine. So I would take as much pain medicine as I could. And so anyway, I ended up having to keep a journal basically on our kitchen island that for 2 or 3 things. One is a timeline of when I took medication, and I still do that. Since I've been having these flares for the last 3 days, on my phone and in my Erin Condren planner, I keep it on my phone just as a quick reference for currently, right now, so I know when I can take medicine again. And I keep it in my Erin Condren planner because I've been trying to hopefully see some patterns and things like that. So anyway, I would keep a notebook that said when I took what medication. And I would also keep a list of when I fed and changed our baby, our son, because I was terrified. I was so disoriented from the pain and then medication. It was either I was disoriented because my head hurt so bad, or I was disoriented because I'd taken pain medication. I was terrified that I would forget to feed him, or I would forget to change his diaper or something. Like, I was afraid he would cry, and I would think, oh, he just wants me to hold him, or he just needs his diaper changed, and then it would have been like 6 hours since I'd fed him, and that never happened. But in my disorientedness, I was so concerned that it would, that I actually kept it written down, so that I would be like, oh my gosh, last time he cried, what, and I try to always have somebody there helping me with him, but sometimes there might be a couple hours where my husband had to work, or my mom wasn't, she would stay with me some, but like she may have been gone or something, and so I just wanted to make sure I took good care of him, because he, my kids are my world, and so I was just terrified that I would forget that to feed him or to change him. And again, it was maybe silly, it's just me being an overly paranoid new mom, but I kept a list of each time that I did those things. So anyway, I started going to the doctor, and I think you'll have to just bear with me on, because I don't really remember in which order different things happened. But I, again, it went from my ear to my jaw. And that's where the pain was, is in my friend, mostly in my ear, but then a lot of times it was in my teeth and my jaw. And I didn't, at the time, wasn't really able to separate the two, like, didn't realize there was kind of a there was a connection there. I just knew, I was in pain. So, I went to the doctor, and they told me that it was a sinus problem. Okay. So, they, gave me a neti pot, and, had to do the neti pot. And now, have any of you ever done a neti pot? Like, you ever heard of waterboarding? That's pretty much what it was. Like, hey, we have this great idea. So anyway, basically you put up water up one side of your nose, hold your head over, and it drains into the other side. It is the worst experience ever. Like, I've heard it has done wonders for sinus patients and all of that, and I didn't have a sinus problem, and so it didn't help me. But anyway, so we did that. And through all of this, I was taking medication. So he prescribed that doctor. We've seen multiple doctors through this whole experience. But anyway, Flonase and I think the Flonase was something I squirted up my nose. There's 2 different things I squirted up my nose, and then like 2 different pills at that time that I was taking. I don't remember what they were, but they were sinus type inflammation kind of things like that. Okay, so that didn't help. It didn't help. So they decided that and kind of around the same time that I thought my teeth were hurting. So they're like, oh, it could all be related. And so I went to the doctor, the dentist, and to make that long story short-ish, I have had 5 teeth removed. 5. Not 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 teeth removed. And it didn't help. So, you start running out of teeth. Like, okay, like, and I had these teeth removed, like, and not just, like, one of them was just pulled, the other, like, in the doctor's office, awake, just, numbing medicine, but, the others were, like, put me to sleep and surgically removed 4 teeth. Yeah. So, anyway, after they were gone, I still hurt. Like, it still felt like my teeth hurt. So I'm like, what the heck? Like, I know it's not my teeth because there's no teeth there. It's like cutting off your arm and your arm still hurts, which I've heard amputees have those problems. But anyway, like, it still hurt. So we ruled out teeth. My doctor sends me to ENT, it's an ears, nose, throat specialist, and they do several tests. They do, also in this time I've had a couple ER visits because it got so bad that, again, you just want to do anything to stop the pain. And sorry, the timeline is really bad because it's been since 2009 and I forgot. So this happened over a period of of several years, from 2009 till 2012. And that's the periods that it happened over. So I've had the teeth removed. I go to an ENT. Okay, so they're not really sure what's going on. They do several tests where, you know, they just do different things where, you know, they think it's more sinuses and things like that. Try a bunch of different medication. Nothing works. So they sent me to a neurologist. Okay, so the neurologist does an MRI. At this point, I've had a couple MRIs because I've had a couple in the ER when things just got so bad that I didn't know what to do. And my husband would be like, "You're going to the ER because you're scaring me," because, you know, he's a police chief, he's a first responder, and, you know, he could take my vitals and know something's going on, because basically my vitals were high because I was in a lot of pain. So anyway, go to the neurologist, and she says that after several tests that she does, they do a test where they put air in your ears to try to check for different neurological things. And here's the kind of problem with that. Like, TN doesn't show up on that, but putting air in your ear is a trigger. So I was in a whole lot of pain, but they didn't really know why. And so CAT scans and MRIs, and she basically told me at one point that she thought that I had a brain tumor, but they couldn't find it. And she said that there was a possibility that I had a small brain tumor that was hidden in the MRI by my extensive dental work. You know, so here's this kind of irony, this catch-22 kind of like, what the heck? Like, I've done all this dental work because I'm in pain, and now they think I have a brain tumor, and you can't find it because it could be covered up by dental work. I mean, I'm thinking I've lost a lot of teeth. Like, you should be able to see it. And a side story of that, I actually had a uncle pass away from a brain tumor. So very, very, very scary situation for me and my family. And to be basically like, we don't really know. Like, we can't find it. So, like, they can't just, like, open your head up and take something out that they can't find, right? So, basically, her solution, whatever, was to wait until it got big enough to find. And, you know, then we'll go from there. We also tried several medications. We tried a seizure medication that made me gain weight. We tried just a lot of just different medications. I can't even remember now all the different medications that we tried, from just different narcotic, or not narcotics, but with some pain medicine, but mostly things for seizures and just neurological things. And so none of that helped. Okay, so fast forward to my last ER visit. So we're at home one night, and I'm having really bad pain in my face. And I told my husband, I'm going to go take a bath. That's kind of, hot baths are kind of my go-to for anything. If you're sick or if you got a pain or whatever, just go take a hot bath. And that was just kind of, you know, and I was in the middle of cooking dinner. And he actually came in and said, "You go take a bath, I'm going to finish dinner." And I said, "Okay." And so I went in, and I got in the bathtub, and after about 10 minutes, I had to have him come help me get out. And at this point, the entire half of my face had gone numb. Like, I looked like a stroke victim. Like, that's what I looked like, and that's kind of what we were worried about. So he rushed me to the emergency room yet again. So, there I was in the emergency room. There I was in another MRI, and when the MRI came back and they said, or whatever, they, I guess before the MRI, they were concerned that I might actually have meningitis. So because of the symptoms. So they asked to do a spinal tap. So I allowed them to stick a needle in my spinal cord and draw out fluid. And so they did that, and that's, fairly painful. But it was better than I expected, thankfully. It was okay. I think I was in so much pain from everything else at that point. So the spinal tap came back fine. I didn't have meningitis. So another MRI, and that's when the emergency room doctor said something very interesting to me. He came back in and he said, "Your MRI looks fine," which I'm like, of course it does. It always does. But I'm in so much pain. And he says, "Yeah," he goes, "I can tell you're in pain because I can see your vitals are like crazy through the roof." And he said, "Something's with your nerves." And he said, he goes, "I don't know what it is, and I can't tell what it is." He goes, "For one, you have a very small opening in the back of your head, for all of your nerves and blood vessels to get through." He said, "It is possible that is putting pressure on some nerve somewhere." And so I was like, okay. So through all of this, my dear friend Gina had been telling me about her chiropractor. Now, I thought chiropractors were a quack. So not only had she been telling me about her chiropractor, but she'd been telling the chiropractor about me, Dr. Hammer. So she kept, and I kept saying, "Gina, thanks, but no thanks. It's not my back." And that's what I thought chiropractors did, is it's not in my back, it's in my head, it's in my ear, it's in my face. It's not related to my back at any degree at all. And so she kept telling Dr. Hamburg about my about me and about my condition and about everything. And he kept saying, "When is she gonna come see me?" And so she kept saying, "When?" So Dr. Hamburg, sorry if you hear crunching, my dog has decided that it's time for her 2:30 now a.m. snack. And so anyway, she just kept saying, "When she's desperate enough." And so finally I was desperate enough. And I was like, I have spent all this money. I didn't have health insurance through any of this. This was before the Obamacare days, and not that we won't get into that. But anyway, I didn't have health insurance through all this. And so she kept saying, "When are you going to go?" And he kept saying, "When is she going to go?" And when he got desperate enough. And finally, I was desperate enough. And the ER doctor had made me curious, because he had said, maybe, and I thought, well, so I decided that next day that I would go with Gina. She had called me and she said, "I'm going to go at 9 in the morning. If you want to go, you can come with me and kind of see what it's all about." And I said, okay. So I did, and he told me that my atlas was out. So the atlas is your C1, which is the first bone in your spinal column. I think there's another bone right above it. I don't remember what it's called. But anyway, so anyway, it was out. And he said, that's probably causing you a lot of pain. And he asked me, he said, have you ever heard of trigeminal neuralgia? And I said, no. And he was like, I think you may have it. He said, and he's a fantastic doctor, and he's a doctor, and he's written several medical things on this particular thing on the atlas and some problems with it, and this was one of them. So just to find somebody so knowledgeable about this was really rare. And so I was like, all right, I'll look into it. And but he sort of started, telling me about patients with it, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was the first time. So it was the first time that anybody had ever remotely understood what I was going through. And so I thought, I still wasn't sold. I had still, like, every time, I believe in doctors, like I did. And so every time I would go to a new doctor, or the same ones over and over again, every time we would do a new test, and every time they would say it's sinuses, it's a brain tumor, it's MS at one point, it's just, all of this other things, meningitis, you name it. I believed them. I believed them because they're professionals. They know what they're talking about. And here was this doctor, this physician, who is a chiropractor that I didn't really believe in, that had told me, that I possibly had this. And I was like, I believed things before. And so I still was like, I was excited to finally find somebody who truly, I felt, believed me and believed and knew kind of what I was talking about. But at the same time, I was nervous. He again, he's a great guy. And he wanted to do x-rays before we adjusted my spine. So made an appointment for, I think, a couple days later. I don't remember if it was the next day or a couple days. But anyway, we did x-rays, and then we did a procedure called atlas orthogonal, where he aligned my atlas. And I remember, thinking, this is the cheapest, again, I didn't have any insurance, and this is the cheapest procedure I've had done. Like, the x-rays were like $100, but his office visits were only like $30. I'm like, I can't imagine that this is going to fix anything, but it's cheaper than my doctor's visits, and so we'll see, right? So, and I'd been, paying for medications and everything else out of pocket, so might as well get this straight. So he lays me down and puts me in this, I don't even know, like, we've had x-rays and everything. And so you're laying on this bed, and then your head goes on this metal thing. I'm total medical here, right? And then basically this other machine comes up and aligns with your jaws, and your jaw, you just have one of those, right? And anyway, he does a lot of measuring, a lot of writing, there's rulers involved, a lot of stuff involved. But it's really simple. Like, to me, it's simple. To him, it's a complex mathematical thing to make sure that I am perfectly still and perfectly aligned. So, but anyway, and then he's like, okay, take a deep breath in, let it out, and then he's like, you're going to hear a click, you might feel a little pressure or whatever. So I did, heard click, and it like barely like taps your jaw or whatever. And immediately I felt this burning sensation in my ear. Like, everything that had been like cooped up in my head for 5 years or whatever just like kept flooding out. Now, In reality, nothing came out of my ear. Don't worry. It wasn't like weird, but that's what it felt like. It felt like, like earwax or swimmer's ear or something. Yeah, I don't know what would come out of your ear like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it felt like. And I was instantly better, like instantly better. Now I want to make a disclaimer here. I have had my atlas go out a couple times since then due to injuries, or just sometimes it just happens. And it is not always instant. Sometimes there is a healing process that will take a few days for my trigeminal neuralgia to go away and to be, but Dr. Hembrick has absolutely changed my life. I've not seen another doctor for it since. I've not, it's just absolutely amazing. I was to the point, like I would have had, like there's a brain surgery that they can do to repair it, and I don't know, that might be in my future one day, but as long as I can, go and have, be adjusted and get that pressure off of that trigeminal nerve, then that's what I'm going to do, because that seems to help. And it has absolutely changed my life, and changed my life for the better. So I actually went to the chiropractor today, and so visited his office, and today has been one of those days that it didn't work immediately. So I'm in quite a bit of pain tonight, but I know that that's part of the healing process, and I'll be better probably by tomorrow. And so I'm looking forward to that, because I haven't slept in 3 or 4 days, and just immense pain. So yeah, but I wanted to do this video because there's so much information out there, or there's not a lot actually information out there on TN, and not only that, there's not a lot of information on chiropractic. And now, not all of them are created equal, I will say that, and in fact we moved like 2.5 hours away, and I still drive back to see him because I'm so terrified of going to one that doesn't know what they're doing, or know, for one, I mean, Dr. Hembrick just knows me, and I'm going to leave you a link to his like Facebook page, and I think he's got a website and stuff, and I'll leave you all of his information below, because if you're in Missouri, he's worth the drive. And he knows what he's talking about, and I know he can help you get relief as well. And I am just he knows my history. He knows, he knew about me before I knew about him, kind of thing, because of my friend Gina. But he's been with me through it. He was with me through the first issues in 2012 to 2013. 2012, I think, when I started seeing him. And then he got me back. And then he was with me every step of the way through a pretty bad car accident that I had. And I was hurting pretty bad after that. And he was able to relieve a lot of pain from that. Of course, I went to the hospital and things like that, like normal traditional medicine. But and then I most recently fell down the stairs a couple months ago and injured myself. And he's been with me through that. And I just can't tell you, I go back to him because he's my doctor now. He's my chiropractor. He's who I go to for this kind of thing, because he knows my spinal cord better than I do. And so I encourage you, if you suffer from TN or any kind of spinal situation, to seek out a good chiropractor. Ask people who they go to, and get references and look at reviews, and just all of that, because it's important to find a good one. But I promise you, if you find a good one, it is definitely worth looking into, because it's changed my life, and it's gave me back my life. And I hope that it can if you suffer from it as well, it can give you back yours. So that's my bit of encouragement for this video. If you suffer from trigeminal neuralgia and you've had any success with chiropractic, leave me a comment below. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel.